Hi and welcome to my kitchen and Mrs. Rogers Live. Today we are going to be making a chocolate chai cream cake, and we are using quite a few of Mrs. Rogers' spices. We're using cardamom seeds, whole cloves, which I have ground up in my mortar and pestle. So if you ever need ground cloves and you don't have them, it's quite easy to do, or you could use a coffee grinder as well. So those are freshly ground. I've got cinnamon powder, ground nutmeg and ground ginger. So those are the few spices you will need to create this yummy, easy to do dessert that looks like you've done a lot of work. So I have baked a chocolate cake. It's actually a packet chocolate cake. I didn't put too much effort into it because we're actually going to throw most of it away. You could just buy a chocolate sponge, or if you wanted to mix up your flavors, just go vanilla and let the cream do all the flavors for you. But I've chosen chocolate just because I thought it'd be a little bit different. So I've cut the top off my cake, flattened it as much as I can, and we're going to make a bowl out of the cake. So as you can see, I've run my knife around and left an edge of about 1.5 to 2 centimeters. And now we're just going to slowly but surely work on getting the volume of the cake out, because you actually don't use the cake. It's kind of like a cheesecake scenario where we're just wanting to create a cake crust. The good thing is that as you slowly pull at this, don't throw your cake away, because that's really good for making chocolate truffles a little bit later. And you can use it to thicken up. You can even freeze the inside of the cake if you don't want to use it straight away and use it for chocolate truffles or another dessert, a tiramisu maybe. Use the chocolate cake to replace the sponge fingers. So as you can see, it's fairly easy. My cake is just ever so slightly warm. I finished baking it about 2 hours ago, so it's slightly warm still, which is not going to make too much of a difference, but it does make it a lot easier for that cake to come out. Now, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me and I will do my utmost to answer them. Also, like and share our video. We've got, follow our Instagram page at Mrs. Rogers NZ and see some of our funky pictures that we've got up there. Now, as you can see, I'm just pushing the warm cake around just to try and flatten the bottom. And I'm going to scoop out those cake crumbs without hopefully dropping it all over the floor. So as you can see, the cake, you feel like you're wasting quite a lot of cake actually, but you can use that later. And it would probably be quite good to do with a cake that, you know, you've burnt the top off. You don't know what to do because the top's burnt. Or if you've burnt the bottom, flip it over. Rest it on its top and cut the bottom off. So next off is to make our chai cream, and this is where we are going to use all of our spices. So in this I've got half a teaspoon of cloves, which I've ground, and half a teaspoon of cardamom seeds, which I've ground in my mortar and pestle. So we'll chop them in. I've got some cinnamon powder, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. Get all of it in there. Got half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now also I'm going to put 1 large teaspoon of my vanilla bean paste. Now if you just wanted to use the seeds out of a vanilla pod, it's the equivalent to 1 vanilla pod. So scoop that out there. And I've got 1/4 cup of icing sugar.
Jono says you could make cake pops with the crumbs.
You could make cake pops, Jono, you're quite right. So don't feel like you're wasting your cake. It's not a waste, it just encourages you to do something else. So we're just mixing that cream. This is 600 mils of runny cream, which I have whipped previously because I didn't want to create a lot of noise. And I whipped it fairly hard, but obviously not the butter stage, because you need a bit of consistency to be able to cut it.
Tell us what you're doing.
So I am making a chocolate chai cream cake. Really easy to do. You can either make a cake or buy a cake in store, cut it out, make it into a bowl, put all these herbs and spices, not herbs, but spices into your cream, and then all we're going to do is plonk it in the middle of our cake. And we want to spread it around best we can and try and get it all in there. Well, most of it anyway. I'm just going to use my spatula to push that down. There we go. So don't forget to like and share our video if you like. And let me know if you've got any questions whatsoever. So I just want to get it as flat as I can on the surface, because I thought I'd try something a little bit tricky. Now I've just got some chocolate here which I melted and made a ganache out of. So just a little bit of milk. I'm not into cream ganache when you're doing it like this. If you were doing it for chocolate truffles, it's a bit different. So I'm just going to put, as if you would, icing. This has also been cooled down to room temperature, so it's nice and runny. I'm just going to spread that as if it's an icing. Now the whole purpose of this is to not have perfection. It is a bit of a very quick but impressive pudding. And you could do different flavors with this. You could just do a cinnamon cream if you prefer, and have some apple slices down the bottom of a vanilla cake. Would be quite nice. There you go, I've got that, and then I've got some white chocolate melts, which I've done from the same concept with a little bit of milk just to melt it. Now let's see if I can make it look kind of pretty here. So this is a really quick and easy dessert, something a little bit special. You could even add a little bit of coffee into your cream to make it a dirty chai cake. So that's starting to look a little bit pretty. There we go. That one's a little bit sad, but let's cut it open. Now ideally you should put this in the fridge probably for a good 10 minutes. But since we're not going to wait for 10 minutes, let's cut it and see. Now my chocolate probably will run a bit, just because by putting it in the fridge you're going to get a firmer chocolate on top. Let's hang on, I've just got to grab my slice if I can see it. Yes, I can. Now, see if we can get it out in one piece without sticking it in the fridge to the best of our ability. Ha ha ha. And there we go. Easy chai cream chocolate cake. Done. So just to wrap up, we've just made a chocolate chai cream cake using several Mrs. Rogers herbs and spices. We use cardamom seeds, whole cloves, cinnamon powder, ground nutmeg and ground ginger. Put that all in our bowl cake, in our cream, and yeah, just made it look really pretty with some chocolate on the top. So don't forget to like and share our video. Tell us if you've got any questions. I'll still be online and I can answer those for you, and I'll pop the recipe up really soon. Thanks for watching.